I'm Kevin Kaduk. He's Jay Busbee. Today's sports argument, best finish to a Daytona 500 ever. Jay, you're our stock car guy. Which race did you like the best?
I'm going all the way back to the very first one, 1959. Very first Daytona 500 ever. Brand new track, brand new race. Comes right down to the final turn of the final lap. Lee Petty, Johnny Beecham going head-to-head together. They came down. Each one of them thought that they had won. Each one of them thought that their bumper was 2 feet ahead of the other guys. It took them 3 days to figure out who won. In the end, it was Lee Petty, father of Richard Petty, won the very first Daytona 500. That was it.
3 days? 1959? They didn't have cameras then? Look, what were those cars going like? 40 miles an hour? I'm going with 2007, the closest finish in Daytona history ever. Kevin Harvick edged out Mark Martin by 0.02 of a second. And guess what? They were able to tell right away. And hey, if you wanted a great wreck, Clint Boyer slid across the finish line on his roof. Imagine that. It was a great finish, exciting. Even if you weren't a race fan, you were into it.
That was some outstanding racing. But I think that the 1959 one still holds the edge just because this was something that hadn't been seen before. It was a super speedway. It was a scary place. Still a bit of a terrifying run for drivers. That, to me, is the epitome of racing.
Nostalgia, yes, I see that, but I think when you're talking racing, you want to go for the closest finish possible, and it's hard to beat 0.02 of a second. Moving on, let's talk about some of the best paint schemes in NASCAR history. At number 5, we have the Tide car. Ricky Rudd made it a classic, instantly recognizable.
Number 4, Cole Trickle. All right, we might not technically be talking NASCAR, but you cannot beat the mellow yellow ride of Cole Trickle.
Number 3, the Miller Lite number 2 car of Brad Keselowski and Rusty Wallace. It's a really nice blue.
And speaking of blue, there's nothing better than Petty Blue on the number 43 STP. Richard Petty made this paint by accident. Turned out to be one of NASCAR's iconic colors.
Number 1, what else could it be but the number 3 good wrench of Dale Earnhardt Sr. Black? There's a reason they called him the Intimidator. We want to hear from you. Hit us up on Twitter at Kevin Kaduk and at Jay Busbee or with the hashtag KBArguments. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.